Hello, welcome to Just the Dis. My name is Brian. We talk about Blu-rays here, but we also talk about things that are not on Blu-ray, and that's part of what I'm going to go into today. I was just feeling a bit restless. I wanted to get out of the house, and so I decided to assign myself the adventure of checking out a bunch of thrift shops nearby, which I haven't done too much recently, although I see a lot of videos where people do that. And so I decided to set a monetary limit and just say, what can I get for about $30? That's about as much as I want to spend today. And I ended up hitting like 4 or 5 Goodwills and then a couple other smaller thrift shops around me, and it was fun. It's fun to just go and look at those places, and once I've done it, then I don't usually feel the need to go back for a while. But I found some interesting stuff, and I did put a focus on DVDs that are not on Blu-ray, and some of them you'll say, well, no need for that one. But it's stuff I didn't have and stuff I was interested in picking up, and I do have some Blu-rays that I did find. I have about 3 Blu-rays that I got. But I'll go through what I picked up, and I'll start with this. Shock to the System. This is a Shout Select title. I found this at a Goodwill for like $3, and I was like, heck yeah, Shout Select. It's one that I don't have, and it's one that they covered on Suspense is Killing Us, and I don't know if they loved it or not. I don't think they loved it, but I still want to see it because it's Michael Caine. It's got an audio commentary with the director. The cast is pretty cool. Elizabeth McGovern, Peter Riegert, Swoosie Kurtz, Will Patton, Jenny Wright. I mean, I don't know. That sounds interesting to me. So that was my first Blu-ray pickup. Then I got a new copy of Motherless Brooklyn, the Edward Norton film. And this one I started to watch a while ago, and I never did finish, but not because I didn't like it. It was just one of those things where I had an hour before bed one night, and I was like, oh, I'll give this one a try. And it's, like it says, 1950s New York, a lonely private detective with an affliction ventures to solve murder of his mentor and only friend. And this one seemed cool. It seemed interesting, at least in terms of the, detective story. And, I don't know. I'm medium on Ed Norton in general, but sometimes I really like him, and so I was curious what he had to offer here, and there's some special features, behind-the-scenes stuff, and a commentary, and I kind of would be curious to hear what he'd have to say in a commentary. So that one was a little more expensive. I want to say that was about $5 or something. But I got this super cheap, and I just haven't seen this one. It's Bill Murray as Franklin D. Roosevelt with Laura Linney. There's a specific thing that happens between the two of them in this movie that I've heard about, and I'm not going to talk about it right now, but always thought that was an interesting thing to hear about for a movie, so then it becomes the one thing you remember. Anyway, I like Bill Murray a lot. His birthday just came up not that long ago, and this is one I didn't have. It doesn't have the digital copy, of course, but it does still have the DVD, but this was like $1 or something. $1.50. So I was like, Blu-ray for $1.50? Sure. And then we can get into the not on Blu-ray stuff. I'll start with Crazy Beautiful or Crazy / Beautiful. It's always a question, do you say the slash or do you just imply it? But anyway, I remember digging this one. Kirsten Dunst and Jay Hernandez star. It's directed by actor turned director John Stockwell. And part of the reason I got this is because this is actually a really loaded special edition. And it's got blurring fiction and reality, the making of, deleted scenes, two audio commentaries, theatrical trailer with commentary, and then a commentary with John Stockwell and Kirsten Dunst. So it had, like, for a DVD, a decent amount of stuff, and it was cheap. So again, I do remember digging this and wanted to check it out, but I was just like, that's not on Blu-ray. That's interesting. Also interesting that I Heart Huckabees is not on Blu-ray. I found this in the same Goodwill, and this is one I'm definitely a fan of. One of my favorite David O. Russell movies. just a bizarre, surreal comedy with all kinds of other stuff packed into it. And it just has an incredible cast, as you can see. Dustin Hoffman, Lily Tomlin, Mark Wahlberg. It's just one of those things where, just Schwartzman's in this. And and Naomi Watts. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's a bizarre one. But this one also had, it has 2 commentaries, which is another reason I snagged it cheap. David O. Russell himself, and then commentary with him, Schwartzman, Wahlberg, and Naomi Watts. So I wanted to listen to those, and I like David O. Russell's turned me on to some films like The Heartbreak Kid and Shampoo. This is like decades ago now. I read an article where he was talking about underrated films he liked, and so anyway, I always listen to those commentaries with hopes that maybe something will get brought up that I haven't heard of, and so interestingly not on Blu-ray, I don't believe. This is a little bit of a joke, but Corgi Romano is not on Blu-ray. I know it's not a good movie. I had a friend of mine recently call me. He does this wonderful thing where he calls me on my birthday every year and leaves a message as some odd celebrity. He's done like Robert Goulet several years, and I actually have these all, like 6 years of these saved on my phone. And this year's message was from Corgi Romano, and he started talking about the plot of the movie, and I was like, I don't remember Corgi Romano at all. But Corgi Romano not on Blu-ray. So I figured, what the hell, and this has one special feature, Corgi Romano All Access. I don't know what that means. There's extended scenes. Like I said, I know this movie is weird and during that period when Chris Kattan was sort of hot, and I know it's not going to be like a mind-blowingly funny experience, but because of this thing I had recently, I had to grab Corgi Romano. This is cool. It's fun when you can find a Warner Archive DVD in shrink wrap for like a couple bucks at a Goodwill. That doesn't happen very much. And this is a film I'm aware of and had wanted to get anyway. It's a Todd Browning film, obviously, as you can see, with Lon Chaney. And definitely one that has been on my radar. And this is really cool. I've seen sometimes people get a Warner Archive disc somewhere, but they just don't show up in the wild very much. So that was a must. Then I got She's So Lovely, Nick Cassavetes' film from 98, maybe? I'm guessing now. I'm a big fan of this one. It is from, I believe, a script by his father, John Cassavetes, and it has sort of that energy to it. It feels like if for lack of a better qualification, a more modern Cassavetes movie. And obviously has a really great cast with Travolta and Robin Wright Penn and Sean Penn. And even has a couple special features. It has John Cassavetes, a discussion, and an actor's look at Cassavetes. They're only about 5 minutes each, but and I saw Bogdanovich was in the Cassavetes discussion, as well as Seymour Cassell talking about working with him. So that's kind of cool. And again, not on Blu-ray that I'm aware of. These are streamable in HD, but it's one of those things where you're like, I just kind of want to have that. So was happy to get that. One thing I'll say is I don't miss these stickers, the Blockbuster previewed stickers that are just incredibly difficult to get off. Like that's the purpose of them. They're meant to be hard to scrape off. And I do not like it at all when they put them on the actual slip inside there, the actual cover. So I couldn't scrape that off, but I guess it's sort of a reminder where it came from. But anyway, so that's that. This one's another sort of a joke. Not exactly. I don't mean to downplay this movie because I don't think I've seen it. But it was sort of a joke between some old college friends and I that one of our friends was like a huge fan of this movie, and so we would make fun of him about it for whatever reason. And again, it's not really fair because I haven't seen the movie. I do like Christopher Lambert. I like Mario Van Peebles, Dennis Leary and Kadeem Hardison. And this one, weirdly not on streaming. Maybe it is. I don't think I could find it, but it doesn't seem to be on Blu-ray either. And, so just looked like a cool, fun, 90s, 92, it looks like, action movie that just has a rep in my head. So I was like, I gotta get Gunman. Then we have Waitress. This is written and directed by the late Adrian Shelley. A very sweet movie, a movie I like very much when it came out, I think in 2007. And it still doesn't, as far as I know, I could be wrong, I don't think it has a Blu-ray right now. And so this was one where I was like, oh, what kind of features does it have? Because I already liked the movie, but it has like, this is how he made the pie featurette, commentary with the producer and actor Kerry Russell, a memorial featurette for Adrian Shelley. That's very nice. Hi, I'm Carrie. I'll be your waitress featurette. The Pies Have It featurette. So lots of stuff on this special edition that I was just kind of like, oh, that's cool. I like that movie, and I like Adrian Shelley, and so I had to snag Waitress. Just Friends. This one's a little dopey, but still fun. Has Ryan Reynolds in a fat suit when he's younger, and then sort of reconnecting with an old crush, and her I can't remember if her like boyfriend or whatever, her rival suitor, it says, is played by Chris Klein. It does have some extras, but not too much. Blooper reel, deleted scenes, alternate ending, 9 behind the scenes featurettes. Actually, there's a bunch of featurettes there, so that could be fun. There could be some cool stuff in there. And yeah, so this one, Roger Kumble, I know that name. I'm trying to remember why I know that director. But anyway, I thought this was kind of cute when I watched it, years ago, and found it. There was a Blu-ray, I think, announced, but I couldn't. It may have come out, but it's totally out of print if it ever came out. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me snag Just Friends just for a laugh. Now this one does have a Blu-ray. This is the only one, I think, in this stack that does. This is a nice rom-com with John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale called Serendipity, from, I want to say, the early 2000s. I may be misremembering. But it's directed by Peter Chelsom, who's a director I like. He did a movie called Funny Bones with Oliver Platt and Jerry Lewis, which I highly recommend. That is on Blu-ray from Kino, and this is one he did after that, I think. Yeah, after that. And this, the Blu-ray probably echoes these features, but you've got a commentary with Peter Chelsom, you've got, behind the scenes, stars encore on the set, production diary, deleted scenes with Chelsom commentary, storyboard comparisons, just a nice bunch of extras. I actually have this movie digitally in HD, so I already owned it, but I was really interested again in the commentaries. There's always a possibility to hear about another movie or some fun production tidbit, and so I like this movie. I think it's pretty enjoyable, and these two are pretty good together. So that's Serendipity. Then we have Bulworth, Warren Beatty's film, and I just remember him being Senator Jay Bulworth, who, it says, believing his career is over, Senator Jay Bulworth, Warren Beatty, takes out an enormous insurance policy and a contract on his own life, but his impending death fills him with outrageous desire to break the rules and tell it like it is. Suddenly, the senator is a surprise political favorite and falls hopelessly in love with Nina, a young, beautiful activist from the inner city. Yeah, I just remember this movie being kind of nuts, and one of those that, I think Fox, I may be misremembering this, but I thought it was somebody owed Warren Beatty a movie from Dick Tracy or something, but that's a Touchstone movie, so I don't even understand. I'm probably misremembering the story, but it was that's how this got made, because it's kind of a crazy, not network level satire, but, it's in the ballpark of that sort of political satirical thing. And this one, unfortunately, doesn't have any features, but still a movie that I remember enjoying and was sad to see does not have a Blu-ray, I don't think, at this time. So that's another one. Now this one, I'm probably in the minority of folks that even like this movie. I know a lot of people don't like this. The Lady Killers. This is the Coen Brothers movie with Tom Hanks. And, it's about a sort of a scholarly gentleman played by Tom Hanks. And I think part of the reason I love it is I love Tom Hanks' character in it. He's like a Southern gentleman, sort of con artist, and he speaks in this very eloquent way. And I think it's very funny, We need waffles forthwith or something, just stuff like that. And he gets this group of folks together to help him do this robbery where they're tunneling under in this apartment that they live in into like a bank or a racetrack, or I can't even remember now. But it's, it's pretty dopey, but at the same time, I don't know, I kind of dig this movie. I don't know. And it's not on Blu-ray as far as I could tell. It has outtakes, it has deleted scenes, it has The Man Behind the Band featurette. I just was, I don't know. It's just one I kind of like, and it's R-rated, so it's definitely kind of pushes some envelope a little bit. But so that's The Lady Killers, and then this one I just vaguely even remember. I doubt this is a great movie either, but I never saw it, and I was surprised it wasn't on Blu-ray. It's Barbet Schroeder, who did Barfly and Reversal of Fortune and things like that. Single white female. And Sandy Bullock, during the end, not the end, but like, it feels like she had that really hot period in the 90s, and this is 2002, so it's right on the edge of that super hot period for her. And it's got a commentary from Barbet Schroeder, again, and editor Lee Percy, and so I was like, I will get for $1, I'll get it for that, but I'm into sort of the late 90s, early 2000s thrillers, there's something fun about those. I was just talking about Double Jeopardy recently, and this is not exactly the same thing, but they're of a piece, sort of. So yeah, I was curious to watch Murder by Numbers, which I never saw when it came out, so could be terrible. But and then last we have Robert Altman's Dr. T and the Women, which is a movie I definitely remember seeing when it came out, and remember, to be honest, not particularly liking. But that said, I haven't seen it in 20 plus years, and so I was like, maybe I'll give it another shot. And I don't know. I just remember it. There were some characters that annoyed me or something. I can't even really remember what I didn't like about it. But, what it does have is it has commentary with the cast and crew and has an interview with Altman. So I'm all down for that. Again, I don't think this one ever made it to Blu-ray. So a non-Blu-ray Altman, just kind of a completist in that sense, and I just like his films, and so like I said, I'll revisit it, I'll listen to the interview. That stuff's always fun. So so for $30 I felt like I got some decent stuff, and I don't know when I'm gonna do another quest like this soon, but I thought maybe encourage people that they have these resources around them, and I'm sure they know that. I'm sure people go thrifting all the time for Blu-rays and DVDs. But in case you're like me and you'd sort of been sitting on it and just not checking these places out, might be worth a look. Might be you get something interesting out of it for cheap, and stuff that's not easily available, and not like the Dollar Tree dollar Blu-rays that are very specific groups of things, Those are awesome, but I don't know. I just felt like a lot of this stuff I wouldn't have seen anywhere else. So glad I picked them up. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below. And thank you. Bye-bye.